And these evidences we can find in Sahih al-Bukhari, for example, the hadith of Mi'raj. The Prophet ﷺ in Sahih Muslim, this hadith says, the Prophet ﷺ was walking when he was traveling to the Masjid al-Aqsa. He passed the area of Kathib al-Ahmar in Palestine where Musa was standing praying salah in his grave. The Prophet ﷺ said, رَأَيْتُ مُوسَى وَهُوَ قَائِمٌ يُصَلِّي فِي قَبْرِهِ. I passed by him on the night of Mi'raj, I saw him standing praying salah. So also the story of the Mi'raj, didn't all the prophets get together and pray salah behind him in the Masjid al-Aqsa? If you look at the commentaries of this hadith is mentioned in Bukhari and Muslim. Imam Badruddin al-Aini and Al-Hajar al-Asqalani, Badruddin al-Aini in his commentary of Sahih Bukhari, he mentions, how did the Anbiya get together on the night of Mi'raj? Either that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed them to come in their physical forms. He mentioned this, they came in their physical forms. This is one of the explanations to that hadith. And there are many other hadith that I mentioned. Hadith on this are mutawatir, are masdar rated, and there are two major books, Suyuti's book and Imam al-Bayhaqi's book. And in more recent times, the late Muhaddith of Makkah, Sayyid Muhammad Alawi al-Maliki, rahimahullah ta'ala, from Makkah, the Alawi, Sayyid Muhammad Alawi, famous Muhaddith, he wrote a book on this, about the life of the prophets in the grave. Shaykh Jibreel Haddad has translated it into English. One of the questions was, what is the shape of the Dajjal? Is he going to be a human being? I replied to these, right? I said he's going to be, I explained the details of this. I said he's going to be a human being. If you came late, then I repeat. He is going to be a human being, he is going to be short, and he may increase in his height, and he will be stocky and built. So he's a human being and he will come in human form. Is he mentioned in the Quran? No. What are the current physical signs of Dajjal? We've mentioned. Do you have more information on the army from Khurasan? That is the detail we have from the hadith. I've only told you things we find in the hadith. Alhamdulillah. And I had books with me, but obviously I didn't quote them. You saw my books with me. But I never mentioned the hadith specifically because we don't have time. But the army that comes from Khurasan, that's the main description. From Khurasan, the army, I mentioned the army from Isfahan, I mentioned 70,000 Jews from Isfahan. The army from Khurasan we're not told about, Allahu Alam. But he will have followers with him in Khurasan, and they will be Jews. We know that. In Khurasan as well, they will be Jews. Why did Allah create the Dajjal? It was a test and tribulation. Like you have tests and tribulations in your life. You have many tests and tribulations. Your children are a tribulation. Sometimes your wives become a tribulation. So everything is a test in this dunya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned. And this is one of the biggest tests. So it's just another test, simply. Yes, Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam will come after the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Will this affect the finality of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam's prophethood? If you have studied basic Aqidah, and I encourage you, because this question is usually answered in basic Aqidah lessons. The descent of Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, after the Prophet passed away, he won't come as a prophet. He was already a prophet in his time. We're talking about a new prophet. The emergence of a new prophet after the Prophet is not possible. Okay, like Qadian, for example, claimed to be prophet in India. Right? He was one of the 30 Dajjals the Prophet mentioned. So the Prophet ﷺ mentioned the coming of a new prophet, and Sayyidina Isa ﷺ will not be a new prophet. Firstly. Secondly, he will not propagate a religion of his religion. He will be propagating the deen of Rasulullah ﷺ. So he will come as a ummati, as a believer of the Prophet ﷺ. So this does not affect the finality of the Prophet ﷺ. Will he come in the form of a prophet? I just mentioned that. He will come as in the form of a follower of Rasulullah ﷺ. And the evidence for that is he will pray behind Mahdi. You see, he will pray behind Mahdi, and he will allow Mahdi to continue to be the Muslim leader. He won't claim leadership. So if he was a prophet, then he has more rights, but he won't. Why are they knocking down Masjid al-Aqsa? Wallahu alam. They have many evil intentions, as we know. And one of them is because of the temple they believe in. The temple of Solomon, or the first temple, Jewish temple they believe was built. As we know, the Jewish tradition was all about being around the temple. This is where they performed all their sacrifices. And after the temple was destroyed, the Jewish tradition was then broken. The sacrifices did not take place. And they believe that this temple was exactly where Al-Aqsa is today. So they want to rebuild the temple Allahu Alam, this may be their intention. Will Imam al-Mahdi conquer Bayt al-Maqdis first or Turkey? Wallahu Alam. I don't know, but I think it's Turkey first. Wallahu Alam. When will the trumpet be blown? That will be exactly 40 years after Sayyidina Isa passes away. Just to say something about the trumpet, the description we are given, the Prophet ﷺ said, before the trumpet is blown, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send a wind. And this breeze will come and people will inhale it. And then they will start to become drowsy. Then they will hear a horn, a trumpet, and then the Prophet even described it. It will start off slow and then it will become very loud. Then the Prophet said everything will be everything will be destroyed, annihilated. The importance of taking bay'ah with a shaykh. The scholars mention that it's really important that you live around people of knowledge. Really live around people of knowledge. To the extent that the ulama mentioned that when you are about to choose a house, when you want to live somewhere, there are three things you need to look out for. You must make sure that the area you live in, there is a scholar there. The area that you're about to purchase a house. So that he can give you guidance in Sharia. The second thing that you must look out for, you must have a good doctor there, good physician. The third thing, you must find a good neighbor. You try your best. So being in the company of the Ahlul Ilm so that they can help you in learning the deen and so forth. Right? So this is the major concept of taking bay'ah with a shaykh. It's so that they can be there for your guidance. If you have questions about your ibadah, questions about your life, halal and haram, your shaykh should be able to help you in solving your matters. So this is the concept of bay'ah, and also reaching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through your shaykh. Because they will be your teacher, they will be your guide, they will be your mentor. We know the concept of bay'ah is mentioned in the Quran al-Kareem. The companions, they used to take bay'ah with the Prophet ﷺ. A number of times, the Prophet ﷺ in Hudaybiyah, for example, bay'at al-Ridwan. And a number of other times, the Prophet ﷺ, the Sahaba said, Bāya'na Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We made bay'ah, pledge with the Prophet ﷺ that we will stay away from haram and we will do halal. And this is what you do with the shaykh also. So you pledge that you will, and it's a way of encouraging oneself to stay away from haram and gear towards good. جزاكم الله خيرا.